Hello, I'm Bishop Denis. I'm delighted to be able to be with you as you begin your confirmation virtual retreat. I know that in your classrooms, homes and parishes all over the diocese, you've been preparing for confirmation. And this retreat is an important part of that preparation. This year, the theme that I've chosen for confirmation is Seek and You Shall Find. I chose that theme because I want you to know that we all need to keep seeking. We all need to keep looking for ways to deepen our friendship with God, to be better followers and friends of Jesus. And it is the Holy Spirit, whose gifts we are given in confirmation, who helps us to find ways to do just this. If you are willing to use the gifts that the Spirit brings, we will always find God, and others will see that God is with us. A retreat is an opportunity to spend some time away from your daily routine, time to think, time to discuss, time to pray together as you get ready to confirm the choice that your parents made for you when they brought you to your local church to be baptized. Baptism is where the journey of faith begins for all of us. Jesus began his work to bring the good news of God's love to everyone by being baptized in the River Jordan. Remember that story. Remember how the Holy Spirit appeared over him like a dove, and a voice was heard saying, "This is my dear Son, in whom I am well pleased." When you were baptized, the Holy Spirit was God's gift to you. And God was also well pleased that you were beginning your journey of faith. As you wait for the Holy Spirit to be renewed and strengthened in you at confirmation, God continues to be well pleased with you and looks in each one of you with great love. God is longing for the moment when you will be anointed again with the oil of chrism and be sealed with the Holy Spirit. From that moment on, the gifts of the Holy Spirit will be there for each one of you to help you to make the best choices, to live your best life the way that Jesus wants you to. The Holy Spirit will rain down all the gifts that you will need to face whatever challenges will come as you carry on in your journey of faith, your journey of life. I'm certain that today's retreat will help you to think about how you will use those gifts in your life beyond primary school, as you begin again in secondary school and beyond, that again to wherever your young adult life will lead. I am so delighted to introduce Charlotte, David, and Hazel, who with your teacher and their help are going to lead and facilitate your time together. Charlotte works with young people in the parish of Newbridge and is part of the parish team there. David is our youngest priest and he ministers in the parish of Portlaoise. Hazel is the principal of Michael National School in Carlow and is part of the team that helps out in Greg Cullen parish. I know you're going to enjoy spending time enormously with them. Just before I leave you, I want to invite you to take a moment to be quiet and still. Charlotte is going to light the candle in the prayer space here in the studio. On the day you were baptized, your parents lit a candle, your baptismal candle, and promised to keep the light of faith burning for you. I know they've done a great job, because here we are preparing now, 12 years later, for your confirmation. As you light the candle in your classroom prayer space, I invite you to pray with me. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of your faithful and kindle in them the fire of your love. Send forth your Spirit, and they shall be created, and you shall renew the face of the earth. Now I'm going to leave you with Charlotte, with Father David and Hazel, and I'll see you again later on. Enjoy your time together.
Welcome everyone to our virtual retreat. As Bishop Denis has said, my name is Hazel and I am joined in studio today by David and Charlotte to guide you, our confirmation candidates, and your teachers through our activities. Thank you so much for taking some time today to retreat from the busy school day to focus on your confirmation preparation. Hopefully you will enjoy what we have in store. So let's get started. Our first activity is all about the gifts of the Holy Spirit. When you were baptised, the Holy Spirit was God's special gift to you. When you are anointed with the oil of chrism at confirmation, the gifts that the Holy Spirit brings are strengthened in us so that we can continue to seek to be the best friends of Jesus that we can be. Many of you may have learned about the gifts of the Spirit and what they mean already. But take a minute now to chat with the person beside you or in your group and think to yourself of the gifts of the Spirit that you already know. I'm sure you all know most of these, but let's remind ourselves of the gifts. They are wisdom, understanding, right judgment, courage, knowledge, reverence, and wonder and awe in God's presence. Okay, so let's play a game to help us to get to know the gifts of the Holy Spirit a bit more. And for this, I'm definitely going to need some help. So David and Charlotte are going to help. So what we have is a basket of goodies or a basket of treats. Lots of really, really nice things in this basket. And each one of the things in this basket corresponds or matches to one of the gifts of the Spirit, which we've already talked about. So our aim in this little game is to match each one of those to one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So let's go through what's in the basket first. And you might hold it up, Charlotte, or David, so the boys and girls can see it. So we have some Smarties, my personal favourite. We have some Starburst.
My personal favourite.
We have some chewing gum. We have crackers. We have some pretzels.
Very addictive.
Very, very addictive, yeah. And a lollipop.
Last but not least, I think.
And a card that says aha. So one of the only things that's not edible in the basket, but some yummy treats. So each one of these is going to correspond to one of the gifts. So what we might do is just give you an example to get you started, boys and girls, and then you can have a go at this activity on your own in your classroom, matching each one. So we know that the gifts of the Holy Spirit are wisdom, understanding, right judgment, courage, knowledge, reverence, and wonder and awe in God's presence. So I'm going to test David and Charlotte now and see can they find a connection. Any idea which one of those gifts would match to which one of those treats? Charlotte, you want to go?
Okay. I'm going to...
No pressure.
No pressure.
Would reverence be cracker?
Any idea why?
Because reverence is... You have to be gentle and like quiet and like fragile.
Really good. So really good. And that's
And
that's
cracker is like breaks easily.
yeah, and that's a tricky one. So reverence.
One is broken here already.
It's already broke. That's the perfect example. Reverence is the gift of the Holy Spirit that helps us to see the world around us and realise that it's fragile. While it's a beautiful place, it's fragile. And crackers are extremely fragile, as anyone will know if you want to go and butter a cracker or put some cheese on it. It often breaks. Really, really good connection. So some of the connection, boys and girls, are a little tricky. So they do require you to have a good think about it or a chat with the person beside you or in your group. So David, your turn.
Well, I'm just looking there at the lovely image we have of the stars, and you know, sometimes I see that image, or when I go outside and look at the night sky, I'm like, wow and awe. So I'm going to say starbursts for wonder and awe.
For wonder and awe, okay. Because of the star connection.
That's what I'm looking at there, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I'd like if he wasn't, but he is. It's the gift of the Holy Spirit that helps us to be awestruck. So similar to reverence by the power and beauty of God's world, because we know that it's the most amazing place that we need to care for. And our wonder and awe can explode like a starburst because they are a taste sensation
They are.
when the Holy Spirit is in our lives. So really, really good. So boys and girls, that's 2 examples of how some of the treats in our basket connect to the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So now it's over to you. I want you to take some time with the person beside you or in your group and try and connect all of the other gifts of the Spirit to the treats in the basket. Good luck. Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you got on really well with that activity. So we're going to carry on, and I'm going to keep testing David and Charlotte to see can they match up the rest of the gifts with the rest of the treats in the basket. So the ones that we did just before you had a go at the activity were Wonder and Awe, which we said was?
Starburst.
Starburst, well done, David. And we had Reverence, Charlotte, which was?
Crackers.
Super. So let's keep going, okay? So Charlotte, we'll go with you first. Do you want to pick one and try and match it?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, okay. So which treat do you think matches
this is easy.
to knowledge?
I think this is easy.
Okay.
There's great sibling rivalry going on here.
Smarties. And I can't lose against them. Smarties.
Smarties, okay.
Yeah.
And easy. Well,
Knowledge and smart.
yeah.
By
So
yourselves.
knowledge is the gifts that helps us to know ourselves and the world around us, and it's a gift that makes us smart about ourselves. That's my personal favourite. I'm going to eat all of them after this retreat is finished. Well done. David, you're up now, and it's 1-0 to Charlotte, so.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I want to. No.
So we have
I'm gonna say chewing gum,
4.
courage.
And why do you say that?
Because chewing gum is sticky, and we need to stick up for our faith, ourselves, and for and other people. We need to have the courage in life.
It's really good, yeah.
Aye.
Really well done, David, yeah. And courage is the gift of the Holy Spirit that helps us walk out into the world and feel prepared, and it gives us the courage to stick up for what we believe in. Yeah,
There you
well done, David. It's 1-1. No pressure, Charlotte. So we have covered wonder and awe, reverence, knowledge, and courage. So we've 3 left. At least we know it can't end in a tie. Okay, you're next, Charlotte. Which one do you think?
I'm going to say wisdom
Wisdom, okay.
is, I use it a lot in my life. Aha.
Why do you say that? Any idea?
Aha. I finally get it.
Well done. Yeah, no, you're correct. Fair play. Because that's a tricky one. That was a really tricky one.
She finally got it.
So wisdom helps us to see and understand God's plan in the world. And aha is something that we say, just a phrase when you're going, I finally get it, I understand.
Yeah.
So the wisdom has clicked in place. So well done. Okay. No pressure. Come on, David.
Just let me win.
We have 2 more.
Yeah, so we have, what have we left? We have right judgment,
Right judgment.
and we have understanding. So you need to get this one right now, David.
Oh. I'm gonna go for pretzels.
4.
Understanding.
Why?
Because like a pretzel's like a knot. We don't need to tie ourselves up in a knot to understand something. Understand.
Well done. That was tricky. That was a great. Just rewarding yourself for that, David. Yep. So understanding helps us to sort out problems, and there's always going to be times in our life when we're in a bit of a knot or there's something going on, and because a pretzel is like a knot, it can help us to untie and figure things out. So well done, really
Great.
good. And the last one, so really, Charlotte, you need to get this one. And then we can
This should
say,
be a buzz-in answer. You know, just make
Yeah.
it-
yeah, do you know what? Well, there's only one left, so
Yeah.
she's going to know what it is. But do you know what it means, maybe? Would be a better way to go
So
about
the
this
last one is right judgment.
one. Yeah,
And it's lollipop stick.
lollipop, yeah, because in fairness, the only one left, yeah.
And I'm going to guess it's a lollipop stick to have the right judgment to stick up for what we believe in.
Yeah, kind of. Can you add to that, David, who's still eating the pretzels out of the
I want to have
basket?
the lollipop
I'm trying
now
not
as
to chew
well.
on it. But like, I think right judgment, because sometimes we might need a minute to, like a lollipop, you know, you kind of suck on
Oh,
the
to
lollipop.
not feel. I won't say it.
Go
I have
on.
a better
Go on,
answer.
no, go on, you're right.
No, to not
Go for it.
to have the right judgment, to not feel like suckers in like a bad situation.
Well done, yes.
Well done.
Yes.
Sorry.
And sometimes
Can
that's
I
a
have
word
that?
we
And
use
maybe
for,
I kind
you
of
can
took
have
it
the
from him.
lollipop. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so. And
thank
you
you.
can have the lollipop as a,
Thank you.
I'm really
I'll
loath to
save
say
it
it, but
for
I think
later.
that was really a tie in the
Yeah.
end. So, but well done to both
Well
of you.
done.
And I hope, boys and girls, that you managed to get some of those connections. Some of them are definitely tricky, but when we tie the gifts of the Holy Spirit to some treats and things like that, it really helps us to understand what those gifts mean in our lives. So well done for any of the connections that you made. We have looked closely at the gifts of the Spirit. So now let's take some time and look at the fruits of the Holy Spirit. Let's imagine that the gifts of the Holy Spirit are like the roots of a tree. The roots are the anchor of the tree. They keep it steady, gather food and water, but are usually unseen. Even though we cannot always see them, we know that the true strength of a tree is found in its roots. Similarly, we may not be able to see the gifts of the Holy Spirit that God gives each of us in confirmation, but that does not mean that they are not rooted deeply in each of us. In fact, it is from these gifts rooted in our hearts that the fruits of the Spirit grow. The fruits are the outward sign of what we have received. They are the ways in which we can see the gifts of the Holy Spirit at work in each of us and those around us. The fruits of the Holy Spirit are like the trunk and branches of the tree that have grown and are fed from the roots. They are the part we see, the leaves, the flowers, and often the actual fruit. It's the part of the tree that makes our world so beautiful. The fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Just as the roots and branches of the tree depend on one another to grow and flourish, so too do the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit. In fact, we can trace all of the fruits of the Spirit directly to the gifts which inspire those outward actions. For example, the fruit of kindness could come from the gift of understanding. Understanding helps us to know and appreciate how others may feel or even a particular situation. And we can show our understanding through the kindness of our words and actions. Many of the fruits can even be traced to a number of the gifts, so there is no wrong answer when we're making those connections. Let's see if we can make a couple more connections here with David and Charlotte, and then it'll be over to you, boys and girls, to see how many of the gifts you can connect to the different fruits. So we have David and Charlotte back with us to have a look at the connections between the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit. So unfortunately, this one is not a competition, guys. So we can leave the sibling rivalry to one side. Because as I just said to the boys and girls when I gave one example, there are loads of connections between the gifts and the fruits. So there are no wrong answers, just connections. So let's see if we can give the boys and girls a few more examples of the connections before we set them off on their activity. Okay. Charlotte?
Okay. I'm going to say right judgment and patience.
What do you think links those two?
I think we need to have right judgment to be patient, know when to be patient.
Yeah, definitely a really important skill, that we can judge a situation and know someone else has something going on, so we need to be patient and considerate of them. Yeah, I think it's a really good connection. Yep. David?
I'm going to go for reverence and faithfulness. Because I think, sometimes in our life we need to have the reverence, which means like we said, like the fragility, like the character, like the quietness as well in us, to be faithful. Even to have the courage to be faithful as well, I think is another connection. Yeah. Have the courage to be faithful, like to say our prayers, whatever they be, to go to the church, light a candle, go to Mass. So I think, even those
and reverence is one we use in the church a lot. Of course, we talk about being in God's house.
Yeah, and for ourselves as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good example. So, as we said, boys and girls, there are absolutely loads of connections. There are no wrong answers. So I want you to take some time now using the sheet that your teacher is going to give you and make as many connections as you can between the gifts of the Holy Spirit, which we see here as the roots of the tree, and the fruits, which are the branches. Good luck. Now that we have spent time looking closely at the gifts and fruits of the Holy Spirit, we can take some time to think about where we can actually see these around us, in our class and our classmates. We all possess many gifts and talents which have already been given to us from God, but sometimes it can be easy to see the gifts and talents of others, but not as easy to see our own. So in this activity, we're going to take some time to pick out or identify all the gifts or fruits we can see in our classmates. We are going to call these affirmations. When we affirm all the good we can see in others, it gives them the confidence to keep sharing those gifts. And it very well may be the first time someone has actually told them of some of the amazing gifts they possess. Each of you will write an affirmation for each person in your class on an activity page your teacher will give you. Think carefully about each person in your class and the gifts and talents that you can see in them. Whether that be kindness that they show in class, joy in smiling at every person they meet each day. It could also be their thoughtfulness or how they care for maybe a brother, a sister, or an animal. The gifts and fruits of the Spirit, which we have looked at today, can be a really helpful guide, but there are hundreds of words to describe the gifts you could see in any one person. So let's not limit ourselves to just those gifts and fruits. So as an example now, David, Charlotte and I are going to give each other an affirmation, just as an example for you when you're starting to write the affirmations for the people in your class. So I've had a good think about Charlotte and what I know about her and what I see in her and in her work. And definitely what I want to affirm in her is her commitment, which is an amazing gift. Her commitment to her faith, her commitment to her parish community and to the work she does in youth ministry, because I just think that's really inspirational. So definitely what I want to affirm in you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
You can have a go at David now.
Oh,
This will
no.
be, yeah.
Easy.
Can I lie?
No.
No, absolutely not.
I'd have to say your compassion. Usually we're quite sibling rivalry, is that a word?
Sibling rivalry,
sibling
yeah.
rivalry. But I got sick there a couple of months ago, and I got to experience David's compassion that a lot of his parishioners speak about. And I got to experience firsthand, and it really shone through. And so I have to say his compassion.
Oh, I'll have to
And it's
remind
so-
you of that now.
It's
Yeah.
so nice to hear them, because I think often we can, we don't hear enough of the positive sides of ourselves in it. So affirmations are just really, really good for that.
Yeah.
I have to do you, Hazel, don't
Yeah, I know. I'm glad we're recording this.
No, so I've known you now for a good few years, and I think it's your heart. Because I think your heart is so big, and everything that you do, you give your heart and soul to. Whether it's in your family, your parish life, your school, because I know how important your school work is to you, but everything. Even when I was a student and you had to look after me, I know how much you put your heart into it. So your big heart.
That's so nice, David.
Yeah.
So affirmations can really make us feel so good about ourselves, and they remind us that we have so many gifts that maybe we just don't see. So it's so good to affirm that in our classmates, and it's just a really good feel-good activity. So I hope you really enjoy doing this activity with your classmates.
It's lovely to be back with you. What a wonderful day you've had on the virtual confirmation retreat with Hazel, Charlotte and David. A few months ago, we sent David and Charlotte back to Sculwera in Newbridge to their school to visit a return visit. And let's see how that journey went.
I don't think we were ever let in the front door
We were
when
never
we
allowed
came
to
here.
reception when we were students, no. Well, it's nice to be back.
Slowly.
They've done some great work here too. Of course, Bishop
Wow.
Denis' pride of place.
Of course.
Pope Francis.
Statue of Our Lady.
Sculwera,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. No, it's great to be back. And lovely images of Our Lady for the month of May, obviously last month. Beautiful. These corridors always seemed a bit bigger back then. Let's see, look, any photographs here? Oh, look, there I am.
Oh,
A long, long time ago, confirmation.
the smiley head on you.
Smiley. I was happy. I was happy.
You were happy.
Yeah, thank God there was no social media back then, though. Where are you? Are you here?
Oh, there I am. 2006. God.
And we thought we were so cool. We thought we were so cool.
Wow. Do you remember the last time you were in this hall?
I think the last time I was in this hall was right after my first Mass and first blessing.
Yes.
We came up here, we had a bit of a party, and I remember all the kids from the school, they decorated the hall with the same amount of energy and talent.
Balloons
And there was balloons and there was cake. I remember there was a massive cake right here. And
Mom cut it with you.
Mom had to cut it with me, yeah, she did. But it was so good, and they were all so good that day, before COVID, of course. But oh, it's great to be back.
Wow, the hall looks...
The big hall looks like the small hall.
Yeah.
But look at all the artwork and stuff
Yeah.
that they've done. I remember doing all those artwork as well.
The same. We've grown in love.
Fair play to them. They've done great work. Look at them all now and getting ready for confirmation. I wonder what names they've chosen. Can you remember your name?
Joan.
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 St. Joan of Arc. They're a bit different now. People go a bit more modern, don't they?
They do. The celebrity names and
Yeah,
things like that.
I picked Luke
Luke.
because I liked it.
Not because
No,
the apostle, though.
David, Michael, Luke. Yeah. But
I wonder what they're picking them.
yeah, we have grown in love. Well, hopefully they have, and hopefully they realise how valued they are.
We are called to be lights to the world.
I definitely remember doing these.
Yes,
the
I think we all
candles,
did.
Yeah, and the photographs, and how we're all called to be lights to the world. So here are the gifts of the Holy Spirit.
I know these. Do you?
I can remember them. Yeah, you know.
Do you know Starburst, Smarties?
No,
Can I
no.
beat you again?
I know. Yeah, you probably could, but I have the wisdom not to play you again.
And I have the knowledge to know not to challenge it.
Well done.
The fruits of the Holy Spirit.
I think something very important: self-control,
important.
trustfulness, patience, joy, gentleness, peace, kindness, goodness, and love. All very important, and something I think we all need in
Yeah.
life.
I thought you were about to say that I had them all.
Well, no, I was going to say it, but then I changed my mind. But out of all of them there, which one do you think is most important?
Oh,
I think they're all
they're
important.
all important.
Yeah.
But-
I think at different times we'd use them. Like I know I have to use a lot of patience sometimes,
Yeah.
especially dealing with my sister.
And joy, it's hard at the moment maybe for people.
Joy can be,
COVID.
yeah, and they've had a long, tough year, but
Yeah.
hopefully this confirmation gives them a lot of joy, goodness and love and peace. I think we all need peace in our life.
Trustfulness is important.
Yeah, to trust yourself as well and to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Kindness, of course, is always good.
Self-control.
Self-control. They come
Comes
in.
up a lot.
Yeah, they're going to come up with a lot of temptations later in life, and they need to believe in who they are and have self-control. Absolutely.
So I've all them, yeah.
All of them.
My old classroom.
Your old classroom.
Yeah, 6th class.
God,
I sat over there at the window.
it's very different, I'd say, to when you were here.
Look at the COVID screens between all the
But
desks.
don't the classrooms feel so much smaller?
So much smaller.
Yeah, it's very different for them with all the COVID restrictions,
Yeah.
isn't it? God love them.
Even
the interactive whiteboards.
Well, we definitely didn't have them in
I'm a little bit younger, so I had one. There's one in the school. Next door had it.
No, we had good old.
Do you whiteboard markers or chalk?
We had.
Did you have stone?
We had whiteboard markers.
The green chairs meant you were top of the
The
top
green
of the
chairs.
school.
I don't think I'd fit in the green chair nowadays.
No.
And the kids done such an amazing job with the hall, haven't
Amazing.
they? And I suppose we should thank their teachers, Miss White and Miss Springate.
Mr. Dempsey and Mr. Rowland.
Their
Pat,
Pat the caretaker.
of course.
The principal, Miss
Miss
Galvin.
Vice Principal, Mrs. Nee. They've done amazing, amazing work.
We all need to make those return visits to our schools. Maybe as we grow older in life, I look forward myself to come back to my school sometime. I was thinking recently, the number I have confirmed in the past 8 seasons of confirmation, starting my 9th, very soon in a couple of days, 17,799 young people. How rich our church would be if they were fully involved in every aspect of church. What saddens me hugely through the pandemic is the amount of young people I feel we're missing. They're just simply not there. What keeps people connected to their faith? What keeps young people? What might keep you people on the virtual retreat connected to your faith? Charlotte, you were back at your school. Lovely visit.
Yes.
Lovely video piece. Tell me, what keeps you connected as a youth minister on the team in Newbridge, looking after retreats, what else do you do? What keeps you enthused?
The young people that I'm involved with, Amadeus, the JP2s, I get to meet remarkable people that I suppose in Newbridge we're very lucky that we have those groups, Amadeus Youth Group, Amadeus Youth Choir, the JP2 programme that we have in the diocese, across the diocese. So we have the programme with Amadeus that there's 35, 40 young people meet every second Friday, and the community that we've built, that they explore their faith, they have fun. So it's not all what people maybe think, and oftentimes when they join they think it's just going to be religion. Sure. It's going to be reading a religion book every Friday evening like they do in school. Or they're going to read the Bible. It's going to be a Bible study. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but that's kind of the opinion they get. So when they come in and we're playing Mafia or we're running around and there's 20 minutes of a faith story, they're kind of like, oh, this isn't what I thought at all. I thought you were a cult. Sure. It's a funny dynamic that they and then they come back and they keep coming back.
Rumour has it you have the best pizzas at Amadeus Friday nights.
Always. Apache or Domino's is where it's at. And there's always give and take. So, yeah, we do
Wonderful.
the pizza. Yeah,
so JP2, Amadeus, many other aspects keep that enthusiasm for you, for faith and for church.
Yeah.
Amadeus, loving God. It's powerful, Hazel. You're a teacher and a wonderful teacher. And you've taught at different levels of school, different classes, different groups. What keeps you enthused about connecting? Because you're also very involved in Great Cullen Parish. So with your parish, with your school, what keeps you enthused?
I would say a little bit similar to Charlotte, that it's actually the people. So in a lot of the work I do from a parish perspective, it might be as part of the baptism team or as a Eucharistic minister or a reader, and it's actually meeting other people who are committed and give up their time to do those ministries to help them on their faith journeys. And for me, being part of the people who read at Mass or give out communion or meeting the families who are coming to have a baby baptised, that's what keeps me coming back, because I meet the most amazing people who really want to have faith as a part of their life, and that helps me on my faith journey. So it's really about the people and the community.
It's living that phrase, seek and you will find. Exactly. And that's so important, and that keeps all of us going. And as a teacher, is it disheartening if you find perhaps somebody in class is not as engaged or is not getting that support at home? How important is the support at home for people to be engaged in church and in faith?
It is difficult, because for most of my teaching career I have taught fifth and sixth. So there's many a confirmation class at this stage that I've helped to guide through confirmation, and it is difficult because as a person who practices their faith myself, I'm trying to pass that on to the pupils and to encourage them. But what I have found is that while they may not engage fully for various different reasons, they're not ready, or they don't have the support maybe at home to do it. In more recent years, as pupils get older, I've seen them come back to the church via Amadeus or the JP2 awards, or in school programs like Mehel, or if they're in a Catholic secondary school as well. That the main thing is that all those opportunities are still there, that you can return to the church and be part of it at any stage of your life, and to know that you are always welcome and will always be made part of it. And as a teacher, that's the biggest part of my work. I see it's my job to make sure that the pupils know that they can always come back, they can always return, because God and our church will always welcome us.
The door is always open.
Always open.
David, as people always say, that lovely catch, the youngest priest in our diocese, but an important influence for young people. You had the great journey with Charlotte, come back to your school were in Newbridge. What was that like, returning there a few months back?
It was lovely to go back and to see. And even since leaving the school, I've had so many good memories there. That was where we went after my first Mass for a cup of tea and for the sandwich. And it's been such a part of my faith journey, from confirmation, but also visiting there. Our mother works there. And it was lovely to go back and to see that it was almost still the same, but also it had moved on as well, and it was different and was still full of energy.
It was in many ways rounding the circle for you.
Yeah.
In parish, Portlaoise Parish, big parish, how do you engage young people? How might people, they wrote letters to me, I had lovely letters from people who tell me different things. They want to sing in the choir, they want to help reading, they'd love if there was a teen group, they'd love if something was happening regarding, maybe Bible study. What do you offer in Portlaoise that might engage these young people on the confirmation retreat today?
I suppose it's almost an amalgamation answer between Hazel and Charlotte. We're not lucky enough to have something like Amadeus, but it's great to hear that people want it.
Yeah.
And but also, for me as a priest in this parish, the ministry of presence, going into the schools, them seeing me seeing them, interacting with them, not just around confirmation and First Holy Communion, but interacting with them around other things, altar service, John Paul II group, the Mehel group, and just being around and being with them. For my own faith journey, was having that interaction with the priest and asking questions and having answers, not just, you learned that in school, or, it was real conversation. And I find that's the best form of evangelization. That's the best form of spreading the good news, is in those small one-to-ones, 2 or 3 people discussing and having that. We're so lucky in Portlaoise to have the parish centre, to have that space, to have great schools, and hopefully I'm part of that, and part of that, the fabric that makes up those schools.
In a very big way, in a very important part. Yeah. And it's great that David and Charlotte and Hazel have been part of your virtual retreat. And you see many different ways you can engage in parish, engage in life. I want you to make sure you do that. I love your letters, and I asked you this year to tell me a little bit about what you wanted to do that might help you engaging. Rachel said to me she'd love to organise a food drive, and she'd love if there was a kid, tween and teenager club. Jaden tells me that basically he wants youth nights that would have religious activities. That sounds a bit like Amadeus, Charlotte. Emma tells me for her she'd love to have an involvement in helping the mass collections, particularly for Vincent de Paul. And finally, Keane tells me that he would love to read. John Paul Awards come out very strongly, but also helping others to volunteer. And he was very big during COVID, as he said, the whole cleaning, sanitising, he'd like to help in that. But what I would say is there's plenty of space, even as we emerge out of pandemic, to be engaged in the life of your parish. We're encouraging you across the diocese to be engaged as well in the life of our faith community as we walk together this lovely synodal journey. I invite you these questions. I'm going to read those questions for you. Do you know of any opportunities for you to be involved in your local parish community after confirmation? Make that call. Ring the priest, ring the parish team. Find out, what can I do after confirmation to keep me fully engaged? Second question, what could your local parish do to help you to be more involved? Again, what could the parish do to be inviting for you to be involved. Thirdly, what would you say to me as Bishop about how the church in Kildare and Loughlin could help you and young people stay involved? I got a great answer on that from the letter, and it said to me, Bishop, it would be lovely if you could organise that we would have shorter sermons or homilies or talks at Mass, and maybe use some comic strips to keep us young people engaged. Thanks very much, Sean, for that suggestion. But there's many ways of doing it in a serious vein at diocesan level, and I look forward to hearing all those suggestions. We've come to the end of our virtual retreat day. Really delighted that you've engaged with us. On your behalf, I want to thank very much Hazel, Charlotte, and Father David for being your leaders with your teacher in your classroom, for participating in this special day offered by the diocese, by Kildare and Loughlin. We really appreciate your engagement. I hope that living the theme, seek and you shall find, that you have found something of the Lord and His Spirit in your life this day. I wish you every blessing for confirmation. I wish you every blessing in the journey ahead. Beyond confirmation, please get involved in your parish, get involved in our diocese. Every blessing. As always, you've been so good today. No homework today. No homework tomorrow evening also. Thank you very much. God bless.